Hey guys, what's going on? Scals here with Shadow. Just coming off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view from tonight. How's it going, Shadow?
Yeah, it's going all right. I was pretty pumped for most of the matches tonight, and pretty deflated towards the end.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it. We're gonna break down each of the matches, give our instant reactions to how everything is, and hopefully get some people in here discussing it with us.
Yeah,
So I felt the show started off very strong. With the right, they made the right choice of the match, even though how the match did play out. It was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
right.
Lot of sloppiness in the match, but that is expected when you have a ladder match like this caliber. What was your
Well, not
thoughts?
only that, there's so many elements to it, right? There's so many moving parts, so many. It's hard to. It's not like a it's not like a singles ladder match, right? So it's tough. My thoughts on it were, there was a lot of good spots, a lot of good athleticism, but like you said, very sloppy in a sense.
Yeah, and it mostly it was when it first started out. It wasn't so much near the ending. Um,
Right.
they gained confidence as the match went on. It got better. The crowd absolutely loved it. They were cheering the entire time. They were screaming, "This is awesome!" Uh, Everything else, like the crowd was into it tonight, and it was that crowd was a great made the atmosphere even better.
I mean, Vegas typically is a good atmosphere to go to, right? So whether it be UFC, AEW, WWE, it's typically just good overall.
Right. Um, Definitely was the expecting I was hoping for, the ending that I was hoping for. So I was very happy with that. Finally, somebody won that kind of deserved it, in my opinion, at least. Um,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I love how they're still continuing the uh, long term booking the way that with Becky's downfall.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, I predicted Becky to win the match, but because to continue the downfall, have her failed cash in, etc. But I like
Yeah,
the outcome of this match.
I don't think they wanted her to be the first person to fail as a women's match because everybody's been successful so far. There has been no failed attempts. Um, I was
Well, how
afraid.
long? How many years was it before the males failed? I think Cena was the first one, right?
Cena was the first one, and that's because
And I think
that's
that was in
because
what 2011 or 12.
he announced when he was fighting for the match. It wasn't
Yeah, it was
essentially a cash in. It was I'm cashing in on this date, and the guy was ready for him.
right.
Um, and then the other one was with Corbin when
I knew Corbin.
Cena cost him the match. So it definitely was. Cena's been involved in I think both of the failed cash in attempts in one way or another.
Right.
But I was very happy that Liv Morgan won. Um, it is something that she has strived for, something she has deserved, and it's very well earned. Um,
It, it was 2012, I think, is when Cena. Yeah,
all right.
2012 when Cena was.
So you're pretty
So it was a good
close,
six-year run before they
and that's about where
before
we're
there was a
at.
fail.
That's where we're about at with the women's right
Yeah,
now. Because you had what Alexa Bliss, you had Carmella twice, you now have Lid, you had Nikki, so that's five right there.
yeah, and just because it's Money in the Bank tonight, Cena is a part of three failed attempts. He unsuccessfully cashed in himself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Damien Sandow cashed in on him, but ultimately failed, becoming the second superstar to fail. And then Cena interfered in the match between the Maharaja and Corbin to cost Corbin the match.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a third one. So
Yeah, so Cena is responsible for three unsuccessful cash ins.
interesting.
Yeah,
But
I figured it was a fun fact to throw in
no,
there since we're
definitely.
talking about the pay per view.
Like I said, I only realized two of them. I didn't realize I forgot about the third one. Um, Overall, I felt the women's match if I take away the ending itself, I would probably give it about a 3.25 for the match overall. I do like I love the spot at the end, how Liv saved herself from being falling off the ladder by using her foot and pushing it back, and then end up getting a win that
Right.
way. So I like that spot. Um, they made Raquel look strong at the beginning,
Yeah, that's
and
important too, right? So
it was important to keep her looking strong. Um, I have to go back and watch because I want to see where Shotzi got busted open because she was busted open
yeah,
pretty good.
I was preoccupied with some stuff to myself, so I have to go back and watch the pay-per-view as well.
But what's your thoughts on the match?
Overall, I'm gonna give it a 4,
Okay.
and my 4 includes the ending.
Yeah, if I count the ending in my scoring, I'm gonna give it between a 3.75 and a 4. But if I take the ending away, like I said, 3.25.
I think the ending way is a solid 3, maybe 2.5, 3.
So the next match after that we went into was the United States Championship match, which was Theory versus Lashley.
This
Um,
one threw me off a bit. Like it really. I mean, knowing what I know now, but while the event was happening, it threw me off. Um, I didn't really like the way. Don't get me wrong. I think Lashley is a great champion at any whatever belt he holds. But I thought we'd see him thrust back into maybe world heavyweight contention. But him now winning the United States from Theory just didn't make sense to me. I don't feel like Lashley needs a belt to be good.
well, knowing what we know now, it makes sense. But
I mean, now, what we
at
know
the
now, yes.
at the time, I was confused as to why they took the belt off of him. Um, just because I feel like this could have went on a little longer between the two, and I want to feel
Right.
like tonight's decision, which we'll go over in a little bit, um, was almost made tonight.
Yeah, it had to have been. It had to have been an on the fly call.
And I'm curious as to why. That's the
I don't know.
that's the thing.
I mean, of course, I get why you're building up Lashley the way you are, but again, he doesn't need the belt. You just spent what a solid 3.5, 4 months building up Theory, and for him just to lose the belt like that made no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean it was a great match overall. They had it was a good back and forth action throughout it. A lot of reversals. It was definitely a better match than I was expecting. Um,
Right.
I would give this one a solid 3.5.
Yeah, I think I'll follow suit. 3.5 as well.
Next, we have the Raw Women's Championship match, which was Bianca Belair versus Carmella. I mean, Bianca's amazing.
She
She's
is.
great, but Carmella's not on her level. Like,
The
I
match to me was your popcorn match. I didn't enjoy it. I really didn't.
yeah, I mean, I
My
I didn't really watch it so much. I had to leave during that part of the show to go pick up my daughter. So that was like the one match I really wasn't paying attention to, and I'm kind of glad that was the match that I had to go do that because I feel like I didn't miss much. The only thing that I liked how what happened with the match was after Bianca retained, they teased a possible cash in from Carmella attacking Bianca and leaving her laying in the ring.
right. That's where I thought that was going.
So it gave the potential that, oh, maybe Liv's going to come out and cash in after winning tonight. Didn't
Right.
happen, but
No.
it gave the little tease there, which I thought was a nice little touch that they did.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best part of the match was when it was over. Bianca's good, talented. Carmella obviously is in WWE still for a reason, but that match to me was not. premium live event caliber. That's a Raw match. That's about all of it is.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a Raw match. But being that they only had 6 matches on the card, you had to do that. Overall, I
Either
gave
way,
that one like a 2.25.
I'm giving it a 1. That's just being nice.
Now we go to, in my opinion, the match of the night. You have the
Oos.
undisputed tag team championship between the Usos and the Street Profits. And if you don't watch anything else from this show, this
That's
is
the
what
head.
you need
That's
to watch.
100%.
This is a must-watch match
I mean,
because
I feel like anything the Usos do right now is just gold.
well, it's not even just the Usos, the Street
No, but
Profits as
like,
well. Like anything those
right?
two touch together, like their promo on Friday night was just so good. How they used their other team's punchlines and they fit like
Yeah,
it belonged to them.
yeah. I mean, and the ending of this match just leaves the book open for a whole nother chapter, which I'm excited to see
So
because I'm enjoying everything they're all doing.
this match, I want to say went a good 18 to 20 minutes. You had a lot of back and forth action. You had Montez Ford getting stuck in the ring for a good 6 7 minutes. Tag over to Dawkins to get the hot tag, and the crowd just went nuts when this happened. Because I was
Yeah,
shocked. All of a sudden, Dawkins comes over and does a flip over the top rope and lands on both the Usos. Like, I was not expecting him to go do that. And then from
no,
there on, the match just was nonstop. Back and forth action, big spots. You had Montez Ford do his jump over the ring post and then land on it. Like, it was sick. Like, I couldn't. Montez Ford is a star. He will be a singles star, he will be a singles champion, and it's going to come sooner or later.
100%. His first title will be probably United States.
And as Shadow was referencing to the ending of this match, which the announcers pointed out shortly after as the Usos were walking away, Montez Ford's shoulder was up for two of the three count. And because the way the ref was positioned, he couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I think it's leaving the door open for a SummerSlam match.
And I love the little tidbits that they do like that. Like, cause you don't see things like that much from WWE anymore. And
No,
I like how they added that in here.
I don't know
This
if you
match.
can hear that, but it's fireworks going on in the background.
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay,
Um,
I can hear it. So
this match, to me, was a 5-star match.
I'm gonna go as far as saying it's a 5.5 out of 5.
Oh,
Like it's really that good to me.
you're introducing the Meltzer scale.
Oh yeah, it goes over for me because they're just the four of them. It reminds me of like the New Day and them back in a few years back. Like
When
it's that potential.
when the Usos turned and started being this with the Uso Penitentiary before
Yeah,
they became this, yeah, I could definitely see the comparisons.
yeah, it's definitely good. I enjoy it. I think the decision to have the Usos retain made sense.
Only because of what happened, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think they could have, and then you would have seen the downfall. Started to see the downfall. But with the rumors that have been going on about the Bloodline getting a fourth member, I thought he might have been introduced tonight and done that as a way for them to keep the titles.
No, I think it's gonna be a woman this time.
Oh, you haven't? So you haven't heard the rumors of who's supposed to be coming up from
I'm
NXT?
assuming. I'm assuming the other family member.
Yeah, Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
haven't.
Nick Nitro. Yeah, I mean it fits perfect with the way these two mesh. It's just like how Usos and New Day was. What were we gonna say, Shadow?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything. I said I haven't caught up with the internet lately. I stayed off the internet most of the weekend. I've been
Um,
busy too. So.
After this match, we get a great Kevin Owens package, which was very well done, and then we get this little vignette.
I was gonna say we're gonna
It
talk
was
about
about
that.
it was about 35 to 38 seconds long, and let me tell you, this little vignette, before you break it down and see what's actually there, it caused the internet to explode with assumptions that Bray Wyatt was coming back.
I still don't think it's Edge. I slowed
So,
it down enough. I was
so
watching it in stills. I still don't think it's Edge.
when you break it down, there is a license plate from Latino Heat, which is
Which is out of place.
a reference to Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
You have a pair of sunglasses that are taped, which is a reference to Bubba Ray Dudley.
Right.
You have the armbands hanging along the wall, which is a reference to
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, so the Hardys.
Yeah.
There was an Olympic gold medal, which is the Olympic gold medal that Kurt Angle used to wear. And then you have the candles, which is a reference to the Brood.
The only thing that doesn't fit there is the ankle thing.
Why?
Or sorry, Eddie. Where does Eddie make sense in that?
Because they had a feud. They feuded when they were feuding for one of the. I think it was the IC belt
Okay, but Eddie,
or the European Championship. I think it was one of those two belts that they feuded back and forth between Eddie and Edge.
you think he's starting a new brood?
No, I think he's almost reinventing himself, going back to using his past experiences to come back. Because there's a lot of things in there that, like, are referencing what he's been through.
Why don't you just be a fucking TLC promo?
So they fought multiple times in 2002 and 2001. So they fought a couple times between the two of them, Edge and Eddie Guerrero. Nitro. People are saying that it's Gable Steveson, but they're only saying that because of the Olympic medals. When you look at the Olympic medal, it's not the one that he has. It's Kurt Angle's Olympic medal.
I don't know. I'm still thrown off with all this.
People are saying that it could be Edge bringing Bray Wyatt in as a way to go back after Judgment Day. Oh, and also the cross for Christian.
Sense.
So it's all looking like it's going to be a little promo for Edge, even though it got all of our hopes up with being for Bray Wyatt. Like the entire internet exploded.
I mean, Bray Wyatt's trending on Twitter, so I would be opposed to WWE bringing Wyatt 6.
Yeah.
Because he's not coming back as the Fiend. That's clear as day.
I just want him back. I don't care what he comes back. I don't even care if he's Husky Harris. I just want him back in WWE. I want him back on TV.
I feel like, yeah. It's a conversation that's not going to happen. Otherwise, we'll just get carried on. It's not going to be a Money in the Bank show anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a great little vignette. I'm excited to see if there's a continuation to it on Monday.
There's just absolutely no context to it either, which...
Well, because it almost looked like it flowed into the Kevin Owens thing.
Right. It's odd for WWE not to even have context behind their vignettes.
Well, I mean, based off of the little clues, I guess they wanted people to look into it and try and figure it out. Because,
Fired up.
um, yeah, according to Fightful Select, they say that it is with it is referencing towards Edge.
I mean, it makes sense when you break it down, but the quickness of it when it aired, no
Right.
shot.
It doesn't give off
It
as
doesn't
being
allude.
Edge.
No, it doesn't allude to Edge.
It alludes more towards Bray Wyatt, and I think that was part of the intention, was to get people talking about it and then people looking into it and figuring it out. Because the person when walking, if you look at
The
this,
shadow is like gray.
I don't know. It doesn't look. He looks too skinny to be Bray.
I've seen a recent picture of Bray. He's not that
Yeah,
thick anymore either.
but he's still stocky. Like his shoulder, like his upper body is always stockier compared to whether he's thinned
I don't.
out in the middle. He's still stockier than Edge.
Well, I guess we'll
But
just wait and see. Right? So,
yeah, so hopefully we'll see some more on Monday about that. After that match, after that vignette. They went into the SmackDown Women's Championship, which was Ronda Rousey versus Natalia.
I'm still not a fan of this.
Why?
Like, I don't know. I like the back and forth on the social media presence. That was nice. It was cool because it's kind of like a plays into Ronda, right? The UFC kind of thing. But I was just, to me, you didn't need Natty turning on Ronda in that way. Why is Ronda the babyface?
Yeah, when Ronda came back, she was supposed to be a heel, and I don't know why they changed her to a babyface.
But you know what I mean? Like it doesn't flow that way for me.
But the whole thing with um, Natty and Ronda was that they were best friends. They were training together when Ronda first came up,
And I
and
mean, that's not a lie.
then all of a sudden, after what Ronda said, after she left, it changed everything between them.
Now, if you're a smart Mark, you know that that's not how she meant it, and Natty and her have discussed this, and
Right.
like
Overall,
WWE just tends to forget people aren't stupid. Like it's dumb. We watch more than just your Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
yeah, they think that that's all you watch, though. They think you're in your own little world. They're in the WWE world and nothing else.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought this match was pretty good, though. I liked the reversals. I liked how it was all about submissions. It was a more technical match. There was not as much, um, just like brawling and everything. It seemed like the match they worked well together.
Shout out to Ronda Rousey there for the Shawn Michaels taunt when she had
I
the sharpshooter.
I was driving home during this match, and I just started busting out laughing in the car when I saw her do that. And I couldn't remember what I was laughing at. And then when you brought it up, I remembered that I did that. And
I thought that.
I thought that was a great little nod to the HBK Bret Hart match.
Yeah. One second.
Oh, and he's gone, but he's coming back.
Uh, Sorry about that, guys. Had some technical issues there.
That's all right. We're still here.
It was sounding robotic on my end, so I just did a quick leave and back.
But
Yeah, oh, that was nice tribute.
yeah, it definitely was a good match. A lot of good moves. Like I liked Natty doing the sharpshooter on the ring apron and hanging her over the side. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, I like the different reversals going from armbar to armbar, different ways. And the one that won the match was actually a pretty unique one. I don't remember seeing Ronda do that one before.
Right. And okay, I agree with Ronda winning for the purpose of what happens next. Because you don't want, I mean, everybody's that's watching this, if you haven't watched it, okay, whatever. But if Natalia wins, Liv cashing in makes no sense.
Right. If Natty wins, Liv's not cashing in.
Because you're not going to have Natalia's first run as a main roster champion last 30 seconds.
Now, I wonder, was Ronda actually injured before the match?
She looked a little off tonight.
Because she started favoring her right leg later in the match, and you saw Natalia focusing on it. But does she actually have a real injury beforehand?
I mean, if she does, WWE needs to reevaluate her contract. Because you can't keep having her hurt and missing all this time when you've signed her to a multi-year deal.
So,
especially with the name that she carries, you can't do that.
Well, it all depends on how she got hurt and what caused it. But
right.
I'm curious if she got hurt or if that was just a during the match
Story.
thing and it just was a storyline. Either way, I was thrilled with what happened next.
Yeah, the match itself between Natalia and Ronda, I'll give it a 3.
Yep.
And then what happened in the next 2 minutes after the match is just something that everybody's been waiting for.
They had me worried. They had me worried that she was gonna fail.
But I think that was the purpose of it, to make it look like a strong comeback, right?
Yeah.
and shout out to Ronda for being a losing champion, and handing Liv the belt and hugging her and congratulating her on her first title.
Yeah, because Liv was overwhelmed with emotions. You could throughout the night, you could see it.
Yeah. It was a genuine.
You saw when she first walked out for the match. She looked like she was ready to cry as she was walking out. And just carried throughout the night. When she went in the back and did the little interview, she made it seem like she was going to hold on to this till WrestleMania, that she wasn't thinking about doing anything tonight. And then they fooled us all. Because when Ronda...
I didn't see that interview, so...
Oh, yeah, she had an interview in the back, and they're like, yeah, WrestleMania sounds good, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just going to enjoy tonight and just celebrate. And then an hour and a half later, she's celebrating now with the belt.
I like how for the most times the women's Money in the Bank, at least the last few years, it doesn't drag on. They just kind of rocket strap the person they want next. And then within the next, usually between the night they win and about 3 to 4 weeks in, you have the new champion.
Right. Usually hasn't lasted much longer than that.
But tonight happened just to be the same night, which is awesome.
It happened, and I've realized earlier in the night when they alluded to Alexa Bliss winning and cashing in the same night, they were hinting.
Yeah, something was happening of the sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said it earlier in our Discord. I said, if the women's match is first, I said we can expect a cash in. If it's not first, then we're not having one tonight.
Right. But I like how they started the night and ended the night with the namesake of the premium live event.
Right.
And then everything else was just kind of filler.
I mean, everything else was good as well, except for the one match. But
yeah.
And now we move on to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Absolute fucking shit show that.
Now, it was not.
Adding somebody to it was.
Before the match got even started, Adam Pearce comes out and says that they're adding a wrestler to the match, and it was Theory.
Just ruined it.
And
great spots.
And the match was great. Like, the way that they all worked together, they went after Omos. At first, they buried him underneath like about 15 ladders, and then they did like a shield bomb with him through the table, which I thought was amazing. You have freaking 6 people holding him up. And then they
I mean,
launched
you
him
got the
like a
Nigeria.
harpoon.
When I seen him go up, and I'm sure someone's memed this, but you know the gif of them dancing with the coffin.
Yeah, that's what it looked
That's
like.
what it reminded me of. Yeah. So,
and
but
when
I just didn't like Theory being added to this match. I
and
think
then,
the stars in it enough.
and then when they threw him through the announce table like a harpoon, it was great.
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah, for sure.
The
I
spot.
mean, if you thought that Omos was winning this, there was no shot.
No, it's not that he was winning it. It's just how are they going to prevent him from winning? Like I was excited to see what they would do so that he didn't win, because he
Oh,
looks
for
like the
sure.
person that would no one's going to beat him. And I like how they did the two spots that they did.
Yeah, it made sense. Um,
Riddle
didn't he do an RKO to Rollins off the top?
Riddle deserves everything and more. First off, the floating bro from the top of the tall ladder where he's standing above the money in the bank briefcase and jumps
Yeah,
off.
that was good.
Sick. He did the vintage Orton off of the third step on the ladder. And then the super RKO off the top of the ladder to Rollins, who took it like a champ. Riddle is the new Orton.
I can see that. Yeah,
He's going to carry on Orton's legacy, and I'm all here for it because Riddle is amazing.
Riddle's good. Yep.
Um, not as many spots as I thought there would have been from who else was in this match? I'm trying to remember now. From Madcap Moss, you didn't see too much from him. You didn't see too much from who else was in this match?
We had Rollins, Riddle, Omos, Sheamus, Drew,
Sheamus and Drew. That's right.
Theory.
Theory you barely saw throughout the night because he was always laying on the back, hiding away.
I thought it was. As soon as I seen them beating the shit out of him, I knew what was happening,
Yeah,
and it was garbage.
I didn't think Riddle was gonna win Nitro. I thought it was gonna be Rollins, just for the sheer fact of everything that has been going on. The entire when they said it on Monday night with Cody throwing out that little tease saying, "If Rollins wins, I'm gonna be congratulating him, and then coming for him." And that little tease on Monday night made me believe that Rollins was actually gonna win.
I don't understand. Okay, so let's just finish out this match and then so
I enjoyed the
the
match
spot
thoroughly, except for the ending.
yeah, the ending I didn't like either.
The ending
And I'm gonna
just
go into that.
the ending ruined the match. Freaking
But to me,
Theory.
you take Theory out of winning, and the match and spots and everything alone, I give it a solid 4.
Mm-hmm. I could agree with that.
Now, the show itself, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Uh, I give it a 9 out of 10 just because of Liv.
That's fine. That's fine.
We've been waiting for Liv Morgan to get this opportunity for 2 years. And
I mean, her winning that championship just made the Big Shot on my wall worth something more. So
her winning the Money in the Bank is something that she should have had last year. And she should have won the Rumble. And her missing out on all these opportunities, it just built it and it just made the end result so much better. Because that crowd went nuts. Like, insane. So, I am very happy with that result.
that's fair. I don't know. But if you think Theory is going to be the man to dethrone Reigns, yes, it makes sense because it's somebody that would need it to catapult themselves. But at the same time, do you really want Roman Reigns losing to John Cena 2.0 when the company's high on you and building you this way? And now I understand what they're doing because they need to have the next star lined up to take the throne because Reigns probably isn't going to wrestle much more. From the sounds of it, he doesn't want to be wrestling much more. Can't blame the guy. At this point, he's been wrestling 16 years, I think,
And that
between OVW and all that. Because I think I was reading something. He only came up like 3 or 4 years after Cena and all them left O'Valley High or O'Valley, Ohio Valley. Like he wasn't far behind in Florida.
mm-hmm.
So he's been active for a long time. He just hasn't been WWE active for a long time. I think at this point now he's been active for 10 years in WWE.
Right, they came up in 2012 at Survivor Series. Is the anniversary of the Shield appearing.
Right. But I
So
don't
that's why
know if
people were saying, well, they were upset when um, John Cena had a 20th when they announced the 20th, but no one mentioned Seth Rollins' 10-year on the same date. But his main roster debut for Seth Rollins was Survivor Series of this year.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do anything with those two.
Um, I really thought Rollins was going to win just for the sheer fact that he can cash in at SummerSlam, and then we would have a champion be
Well, they
around.
keep building. Like you think about it too. For some reason, it also instills in your mind. They keep talking about the heist of the century, the heist of the century, the heist of the century, the heist of the century. That's just not.
Which,
There's no.
which makes
That's
me
just not
believe that the Theory winning was changed tonight on the fly.
that. Or now Seth and him are going to get into a little thing because Seth doesn't have a program with Cody being out.
So
And
could Seth win win the briefcase from him,
maybe I
or
don't think so, but who knows?
you have Theory go to cash in at SummerSlam, and Cena comes out and ruins it, and that's how you get Cena versus Theory.
Yeah, but where? At what pay per view do you do that at now?
You could do it.
Survivor
You could
Series?
do it at SummerSlam. You could do
You
it
would assume.
at. You could do it at. Um, you could possibly do it at Survivor Series, or you could do it at the UK.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
right.
you have Drew
SummerSlam's only a
versus
couple weeks away now. Yeah.
Roman in the UK. Roman wins. You have Theory come out, and then what better thing for the UK people would it be for Cena to show up there?
Yeah. And he's not booked to do any movies and stuff right now. So
Right, and then Theory goes to cash in. Roman is dazed and everything from the match, and then as Theory hands the belt, the ref goes ding, and then Cena's music hits.
yeah,
Riddle gets speared. I'm not Riddle. Theory gets speared, pinned, match over. Out comes Cena.
yeah. I like the theory. Play on words there.
No pun intended, but there was.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting the next few weeks with SummerSlam.
It's like WWE takes what like 3 steps up, and then 5 steps back.
Yeah, I don't understand the
Because the
booking.
whole show tonight was perfect until that. And I really was hoping that they just added him in and then he would lose. He would be the one, like, the last one to lose before Rollins or Riddle took it.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, overall, I thought the show was very good. Um, you have SummerSlam in 4 weeks. It is on
Still
July,
very odd to me that it's 4 weeks.
July 30th. And we're going to start seeing them build up towards that. I could definitely see a rematch between Usos and Street Profits.
Has to be.
We have the Brock versus Roman match.
Oh, speaking of that, so something intriguing that I keep hearing about. Theory can also cash in and only take one belt. They're not unified.
They are.
No, they never say that.
Yes, they do.
They always no. They always say the undisputed.
That's true.
They never say unified.
Like they do for the tag.
Undisputed.
Like they do for the tag.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So that makes me believe that the titles are still two separate entities. They're not one. Hence why we've never gotten that one belt. Because when they announce the tag teams, it's the undisputed, unified tag team champion. When they're talking about the undisputed championship, it's the undisputed champion. It's never the unified undisputed champion.
Yeah, I just want them to bring out new tag belts. I don't like these. I want the ones that they made in 2019 that are still sitting in the warehouse that have never been used.
Listen, I don't write this shit. If I did, we'd have a lot better TV.
But
I mean, just the theories that me and you threw around earlier were interesting.
yeah, we definitely could write for them, but they like to do what they like to do.
I mean, I feel like everybody believes they could write better than WWE.
And most of them are probably right. But I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. Overall, I thought the show was very good. It did not feel like it went for a little over 3 hours. It was flowing very nicely. Matches were very good. So if you definitely want, like I said, you definitely should check out the tag match. Stay for the Kevin Owens little video and then the vignette. And then I would watch the men's Money in the Bank ladder match outside of the winner. Other than that, the match was very good.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say, Shadow, before we sign off?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Make sure that if you are watching this video on YouTube, you are dropping a like and subscribing to our channel so you can get notifications of when the new videos drop. We will be probably following up Monday night after Raw, doing another live reaction. And then I'll be working on getting my power rankings out this upcoming week. So be on the lookout for that as well. All right. Have a great night, guys.